Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful week. Welcome back to Behind the Layers. I am your host, Kara Christensen. And on Behind the Layers, we uncover the facts, the myths, and the secrets behind the health, fitness, and beauty industry. So, we are always trying to give you guys all the information that we can that has been researched and offer up to you to help you living your best life from the inside out. So that's what this channel is about. If you haven't already, subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, whichever platform you're on. I am on X now, so that's at Kara C Live. Because my name was taken on there, which was interesting. But on X at Kara C Live, on TikTok at Kara Chris TV. I am on YouTube at Kara Chris TV. And so praying hard to get back on my Instagram and my Facebook page, which is also Kara Chris TV. I'm not quite sure with this whole new meta thing. I'm still 3 weeks now locked out of my account. So that being said, I hope you can follow me on one of those platforms. YouTube is where I'm streaming from. That's Kara Chris TV on YouTube. So I hope that you follow on one of those platforms so we can get you to living your best life from the inside out without spending a penny more in your life or adding much of anything to your life. And I apologize if you can hear my dog eating lunch beside me. So, getting to it, our topic today, Tuesday's topic, we are going to dive into what are some habits that you can create in your life to help giving you the absolute best life from the inside out just by creating these new habits. So, I have somebody that I follow. Most of the people that I show you on here are people that I already follow and trust and know that their information is good information. Many of them are doctors. And so I like to give you guys the information that I feel is 100% something that you can actually gain knowledge from in a good, healthy way. So, not just like some content creator throwing some of their ideals or opinions out there, backed, studied, researched topics. So really do hope that you follow along and you learn something along the way. All of the videos that I'm going to share with you on YouTube are going to be in my playlists. So if you go to YouTube and you go to at Kara Chris, you have to put the at symbol, Kara Chris TV. On my playlist is podcast info vids. That's where my podcast info videos that I show you are always going to be. So they're going to be right there in podcast info vids. And that is where these next videos I'm going to start with will be. So this is not my usual time. I do apologize. I have to take my daughter to the doctor today, and there has been the wonderful flu sweeping through. And sometimes, no matter how many vitamins you take or how well you eat, it still just comes at you. So, especially if you're a kid and you're around other kids that are constantly sick in the schools, the teachers do their best, right? They try to get the kids to wash their hands, blow their nose, all the things, but they just can't possibly keep up with every single kid throughout the whole entire day and instruct. So I get it. And the kids' systems are constantly being built, right? Because they're constantly having to fight all of those things inside. So, yes, parents that are there to take care of the kids when they're sick, it's bound to affect your immune system too. Here are some of the things I found were very beneficial I feel like the best way that you can reevaluate and re-implement something new into your life is creating a habit. You have to get rid of the old habits and you have to replace it with the new habits. And these are habits that doctors have provided from their years and decades and centuries of studies on habits as humans and how we can create new habits and what are the habits that we should create. But breaking old habits is not an easy task. And I do feel like as long as we give it a persistent go, eventually you will create that new habit and the old habit will be one of the past. Many of us have old habits that we'd like to break and starting anew. And 2025, this being a new year, a fresh start, a fresh look at things. Of course, you can start that at any point in your life, at any time, any given time. but it also always makes it nice when it's a new year, a fresh slate, a new start, new beginnings, and a new clear mind of how we're going to approach that new year. So hopefully there are some things in this video that we're going to watch that might resonate with you and might be like, okay, I think I could try that. I think that's something that I could implement into my life, especially if it's going to make you smarter, make you healthier, make you more energy, make you having a better life, make your life all around a better life to live from the inside out. So let's just see what we have in store here. I'm going to start it off with 13 habits that will make you
Brainidos
smarter.
presents 13 everyday habits that make you smarter. A lot of people think that being smart means getting good grades and having that degree. However, to be smart is to be able to think critically and make decisions that benefit you. It's not just about memorizing information or being able to recite facts. It's about understanding how the world works and using that knowledge to your advantage. You don't have to be a genius or spend hours in the library to get smarter. Regardless of your age or level of education, you can become smarter by following some simple habits. Here are some of our favorites. Number 1, question. Don't just assume. This is a habit that applies to every aspect of your life, from the way you take in new information to how you approach interpersonal relationships. Many people tend to take things at face value. They don't question things. They just assume that if something is presented as fact in the media or by a source they trust, then it must be true. Unfortunately, this can lead to bad decision-making because you can miss out on information that could help make better choices. Don't just assume that something is true because someone told you so. Always clarify and look at all sides of everything before making up your mind. Number 2, read something you normally wouldn't. Reading is a great way to expand your knowledge and your vocabulary. And if you want to be smarter, you should definitely read every day. You should also consider reading something that you normally wouldn't, even if it directly opposes your own perspective.
So does that include reading subtitles on YouTube Shorts or Instagram or TikTok? Um, I mean, I guess reading is reading, right? Not everybody has time to sit down and read a full book. And a lot of people do audiobooks these days. So, I get it. It's a lost trait that is going to be, I feel like almost like cursive. Like they took cursive out of a lot of schools. They don't teach cursive anymore. So literally, if you learned cursive in school, you can write like a secret note to someone in the future for people that don't know how to read cursive, and you could totally pass it by and they would have no idea what it says. It's wild to me, like mind-blowing wild. So I get it with the whole reading front. Like there's so many, it's such a non-reading world that we live in right now. So taking the time to actually remember like what words mean, like bigger words outside of, I mean, think about it. And in the social media world, everything ends up being, an acronym, like shortened down into just letters. And a lot of times I find myself, even with my teenager, like going and looking up, what did he just say? I have no idea. He just put some acronyms here in this text message to me. Like I have to go look up what it is he actually means. So, I get the whole reading part. It is a good habit to have just to keep your mind stimulated. And that's a big thing that happens with when you get Alzheimer's or dementia. They say people stopped using their brain to fire off new cylinders in your mind to think outside your box. So if you're just going through your daily motions and using the same routines and the same things that you're constantly doing, your mind stops using those other parts of your brain and those slowly start dying. And that's not where you want to be. It is not. That's like my biggest, just having two grandparents that have gone through Alzheimer's and now my father who has dementia, who is the smartest man I know. It's so scary. It's really, and it's one of those things that is like a slow rolling process that just eventually is leading to the worst case scenario and you can't stop the train. It's really so, I mean, you can slow the train, but it's so scary. And that's something like I'm constantly fighting against. And I know that there are a lot of other people that have family members that have suffered this disease. And it's sad to watch somebody forget the things that were so important and so beautiful in their lives and then eventually maybe even forget you. It's really daunting. So I'm constantly trying to put information out there that is steering against that. People are like, well, what's the difference in Alzheimer's and dementia? And they weren't really quite clear on those when we were talking to the doctor. But the only way that he could describe it was that dementia was something they felt in the medical industry. Like it wasn't so clear even at the time he got diagnosed. Even now, they're still kind of on the fence. They might be calling it type 3 diabetes because they feel like it is so driven from food, from processed food. So even though my father worked out religiously 3 times a week, and then all his stuff he would do after his job as a professor or instructor, he was physical. Like he owned properties and he was constantly working on them. So he was very physical and very active, but he did indulge in like ice cream and maybe Debbie treats and stuff like that. But it just didn't feel like his lifestyle and way was enough to have a man who has 2 master's degrees in math that that he could be in this level. It's not funny. I'm just like the mind blown on it. But if there are things that we can learn now at a young age that we can prevent that from happening, why not want to learn that, right? So if reading, I'm not a huge reader either. I just don't have the time. It's not that I can't read. I'm actually a very fast reader. I do like to watch dub over videos that are TV shows. I feel like that's reading. They put those words up really fast. Like sometimes you have to be a super fast reader to get all the dialogue in when you're watching a film or watching TV shows from another country, and they're popping those up on the screen. So that's probably pretty much the reading I get. It's still good reading, but it's very fast reading and it keeps your mind active and sharp. However, if I'm watching that with like my husband or other people in the house, a lot of times they want me to switch it over into the English where you don't have to read at all. And that's kind of takes my reading away, but also the voices are a little bit different. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like when the excitement of them and their actual voice, when they're speaking in Russian and it's like their actual intent of how the emotion made them feel, it hits different than when you got an American speaking actress or actor speaking over the voice. I don't know. Everybody's got their thing, right? Whatever floats your boat. I'm no one to judge, that's for certain. So let's continue on. Welcome if you just joined the stream. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. I think I got some TikTokers over there. If you guys like this stream, let me know. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Live weekdays, you guys. I hope to see more of you here. It's exciting to get to stream over there now. And thank you, Trump, for saving TikTok. Okay, let's dive back in.
Whether it's an article or book, reading something that differs from what you would normally read can potentially be an eye-opening experience, as you will likely be forced to consider another point of view. It can certainly expand your mind and challenge some of your ideas. Number 3, diversify your day. While a routine can be great and beneficial, it's easy to get stuck in a rut. To be both happy and productive, you need to mix things up so that you are constantly doing new things and keeping your brain active.
Yeah.
Get yourself off of autopilot. Take a different route home from work. Try a new recipe for dinner, or go for a walk outside instead of walking on a treadmill. Inviting a little novelty into your daily life will not only keep things fresh and interesting, but it can actually help make you smarter and more creative. Number 4, expose yourself to different worldviews. Smart people are curious. They interact with different people and expose themselves to as many cultures, places, and perspectives as possible.
That's me.
It's a great way to get your mind working. Of course, it's also important that you are open-minded about the information you receive from these sources. You may not agree with everything you hear and see, but if you keep an open mind, it will help broaden your understanding of the world around you.
And I feel like you guys hit me up if I'm wrong here and let me know how you feel. But I feel like we used to be in a world like that. I mean, I have some of my best friends and we have different views, and it never got in the way of our friendship. I've never seen such like disarray between family and friends and people that used to be close over politics. It's so wild to me that we've lost the world where we can share our point of view and be able to hear it and accept it and agree to disagree and still move on and be, normal and not in this space of just like hate and set the world on fire if you don't agree with the way I see things. That's just not realistic. I like that there's other points of views, and I just think that there's a way that it can be distributed without being, in my humble opinion, without being hurtful or harmful or, daggers thrown. You can have a conversation and just, say that, well, I don't know, I think this way and I feel like this and I feel blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, to each their own. You don't have to be like, well, everybody over there sucks and they need to die. And like, it's like, whoa, pipe down. Like everybody just take a breath, take a beat, count to 10, breathe in, breathe out, a little kumbaya, a little zen. I just feel like we got so off track. I'm sorry if I keep touching my face. There's like a hair on my, it's tickling my nose. But I feel like we got so off track. And how do we get back to center? Right? That's where we need to be. We need to get back to center. So yes, this is they're saying these are new habits that you should create to keep your mind sharp, is engaging. And it's on the top 2025 list for doctors, saying keeping your mind engaged is going to keep your mind in a healthy space and it keeps you smarter. However, I feel like in a space that we're in, it becomes so toxic because people forgot how to communicate in a positive way. And not everybody, I'm just saying, it seems to be a large majority of people that engage in opposing opinions. It doesn't always end well. So I think it's beautiful to be able to have a conversation about whatever you're feeling and be able to somebody else chime in and you maybe not agree, and that's fine. You get to hear their side and maybe something clicks or maybe something doesn't. It doesn't, like, we're all just humans trying to survive and live and thrive, and breaking each other down and not being able to communicate. I mean, I think it's very boring. It's very boring to be in a space where everybody's the same and everybody thinks alike and does alike. And, I feel like the diversity is what makes us beautiful. And the uniqueness in each person is what makes us beautiful. I mean, if you agree, show some love, because I feel like there are more people that feel like that than not. And maybe they're just not outspoken about it, but I feel like the more that we are able to feel free enough to speak on the matter and say, hey, you guys, it's okay that we agree to disagree. We can still have a conversation without being hurtful with our words, and bring up dialogue and different ideals in a nicer manner. That doesn't have to be, you can still be blunt or say what you feel, but not being like threatening on the other end. Like, I feel this way and those who don't need to die or go to hell or whatever. Like, it's, whoa. It's like, let's bring down the levels, right? Does anybody else agree with that? I feel like it's pretty logical thinking. So let's continue on. Welcome, you guys. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you for being here.
Number 5. Make a point of learning something new each day. Learning something new every day, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, can have a big impact on your brain. Watch educational shows, listen to audiobooks or podcasts, or subscribe to thought-provoking newsletters. You can even use the Word of the Day app and have fun learning new words. Number 6. Apply new knowledge. When you learn something new, don't let it go to waste. If you don't apply what you've learned, then what's the point? Don't just learn for the sake of learning. Make sure it betters your life somehow. Whether it's learning about nutrition or technology, if you take the time to learn something, put that knowledge into practice. Number 7.
So true. Let me resonate there on that one. So my teenager goes on what I call YouTube University. And like, if there's something that he needs to have fixed in his room or his bathroom, he goes on there and he like watches a few videos. You can literally learn so many things on YouTube. Like, there is a professional that is posting up something. I even had my husband, who the plumber couldn't come, and we had some craziness going on down in our kitchen sink. And I was like, babe, just go on YouTube and figure it out. You got this. You can, mechanics. You used to put cars together and all. You can learn it. You could do it. Push yourself outside your comfort zone. You got this. And he did, and he fixed it, and it was beautiful, and it saved us $175. So, see what I'm saying? Like, you putting it to practice, YouTube University, and never limit yourself. You can do so much more than you think that you can. You might have been told that you can't, but you can. I don't even like the can't word. I think it's just so limiting and puts yourself in just such a box. You throw a box up around yourself every time you use that word. And I feel like it blocks you from dropping the T and sticking with the can. I feel like when you bring that T on, you got to block that T. That's not the tea you want to spill. Don't want that tea. Block that tea because you can and you will as long as you give it a go. Like saying, never know till you give it a go. All you got to do is look it up, give it a try, and see what you're capable of. And then you might be like, dang, have a little more oomph in your step, right? A little more charisma, if you will, in who you are and what you're capable of. Because now you walk with a different confidence. Like, bro, I just slayed that. I did that. I didn't have anybody else do that for me. I did that. And I think it is empowering when you learn something new. Not only does it help stimulate your mind, like he's saying, you get smarter by doing new things, but it also gives you a sense of, I don't know what, confidence that you didn't have before and that you're capable. Confidence that makes you feel capable. And that right there is what is going to bring you to the next level in whatever you do. Because now confidence is everything, y'all. Confidence is everything. If you don't have confidence, I mean, it really trickles down to even just thinking about my teenagers, taking them to the skate park. And it's the time when they let that doubt slip in. You know, they're going to do a trick, and then they let the doubt slip in last minute, and then they wipe out. Because when you don't have confidence, no matter what you're doing, you got to stick it through. You got to be full confident, and then you're going to land your shot, no matter what it is, not just skating or whatever the thing. Confidence is what lands your shot. When you show that fear, that weakness, that lack of confidence, you let that person in, out of here. It's not happening. It's not going to be good. They always ruin the flow. When you let the doubt and the fear in, those two, they're going to ruin this buzzkill. They're going to ruin the vibe. They ruin the flow. And it's not a go. There's no more. It's not a go. It's out. X'd out. Don't even let them in. That's what I say. Y'all keep knocking at the door. Fear and low self-esteem. But I'm not going to let you in. You can knock as loud as you want, but you're not coming in this house. And that's the way you move forward. Otherwise, you would never feel confident enough in yourself to do anything. Literally, fear and doubt would take over and keep you out. Ooh, honey. Right there, t-shirt. Fear and doubt will kick you out. That's just facts. You heard it right here. Put it on a t-shirt. Fear and doubt will kick you out, and you never know until you give it a go. Those are just facts. Those are facts, baby.
New ways to do old things. Another way you can challenge your brain is to look at things you do every day and think about how you could do them slightly differently. Finding new ways to do things will fend off boredom and help your brain stay sharp and focused, as well as make life more interesting and fun. You could also use this habit to find better, more efficient ways of doing something you do often, such as packing lunches or folding clothes. Number 8, play games that make you think.
So, this whole part right here is how to stimulate your mind and keep your mind healthy and fresh and keep you away, hopefully, from the zone of getting into the, getting into the, dementia, Alzheimer's realm. What we're trying to avoid in life, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to put their loved ones through that. It's horrible. It's being someone that's going through it right now. So doing things a new way. So this is what I was talking about on my other channel. I was talking about when you're folding laundry and getting your squats in, or like getting some, doing something different, stimulating your mind in a different way. If you keep your old patterns, you keep those same patterns, your other cylinders in your brain are just shutting down. When I was talking to the doctor about Alzheimer's and dementia, which my father was diagnosed with, it is letting those cylinders die out. It's almost like a fire, right? You have to let the embers keep burning. You can't let them die out. So you've got to keep that flame going. And the way to do that is constant movement of something fire, the cylinders firing in the brain. So doing the simple daily tasks that you normally do, but doing it different. Maybe do it in a different order. Maybe you're just handling it different. Whatever you're doing in your day, spice it up, do it a little bit different. Like what I was saying with the laundry. If you're used to just sitting there folding the laundry, how about when you're folding the laundry, you're doing it with a squat, folding the laundry with a squat. Now it takes your right and left brain to think at the same time because you're doing something while you're doing something else. That's why I love playing video games. I am all in. I will never stop playing. I'm going to be one of those grandmas on there that are like slaying fools on freaking Fortnite. Like, just, that's gonna be me. Like, my husband and I, we get on our gaming, kids are in bed, we'll have like throw a few games in the evening, and it's so good for your, but they've done so many studies, you guys. I have to put a thing up on that. They have done so many studies on video games, right? So video games, they were gonna start putting video games into like school learning, because it is the only thing that really makes you use the right and left side of your brain at the same time while engaging your frontal lobe. So because in gaming you have to hold, or if you're on PC, you're using your right and your left hand to operate your gaming person. So to shoot or to run or to jump or to move left and right, you're constantly using your right and left brain. So it's been so many studies on it now, with doctors working with educators, trying to see how can they incorporate it without creating some kind of like antisocial addiction in some type of way. But I also think it's great for kids that are new to a school, or they're trying to find their clique or whatever. They can get in with a group like, oh, hey, you play this? I even did that with my nephew who started a new school. And I was like, tell your friends in your class, like, hey, this is my gamer tag if you guys want to play. And now he has friends because they kind of broke the ice in that way, but they also play, at school and in person. So, I mean, he's a younger kid. So, but some of these kids start playing at like 6 and 7. And it's so important for their brains and their motor skills. Your motor skills have to be on point. It's actually quite it's quite intriguing to watch the doctors talk about the video games and how they're trying to, it's got such a bad rap. And I'm not talking about video games like, murder and that whole like gory stuff. I'm talking about even just like, I don't know, this might be real old school for some of you people watching me right now, but I'm talking about Mario Kart, like Mario Brothers. Those were also right and left side of the brain. I mean, Fortnite, I feel like, yes, it is killing, but it's not like some of those advanced, obviously 16 and up, 18 and up games where you see the blood flying or you're not murdering someone. I mean, you are murdering people. It's not gory, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not too gory. And it's a third person. It's not in first person. I don't know. I'm not saying to go get your kids like on video games. I'm just saying if you're an adult and you want to stimulate that right and left side of your brain and you want to keep it firing at all cylinders, gaming is a really good way to do it. And you meet other people. I mean, we meet other people all the time that are, 30 plus playing games. And like, it's funny because we'll be talking about all the little kids you end up playing with, or because you get paired up in gaming, you get paired up with people that are, just randoms that are in your network, which means like either in the US or the UK or wherever you're from, they kind of pair you in that region, but you can switch around regions if you wanted to. But I just feel like it's something really cool that does get your mind stimulated. It's fun. You can meet other people. It does trigger some people that have anger management issues possibly. So if you're someone who's constantly like in traffic and you're getting more mad than you can handle, maybe gaming's not for you. But doing it on a level like you don't have to be playing sport game or games that are in the realm of playing with others and killing games. There's so many other games like sport games. There are racing games, anything that's just using your right and your left hand at the same time, like a controller. Let me show you my controller. It's right here. Boom. See? And you have to use it constantly, right and left. And then mine has triggers on the back. So it's literally like using my thumbs up here with all these buttons, and then I'm using my middle fingers to press these buttons, and then I have my pointer fingers. So these are all working, just to give you like a perspective. These are all working, doing something like this at all times. Like, think about how smart you have to be to do that. Okay, just saying. And these kids who do it, it's like second nature for them. They just like can do it, and that's that. Because it's like if you don't bar yourself or hold yourself back from trying new things at whatever stage or age you're at, then you don't put that limit on yourself, and you're in that I can space rather than bringing that T on board, which is the fear and the doubt, which kicks you out of that space. You don't want to be in that space. That space is scary and boring and is not ever gonna advance you, and it's just sure doom. When you live in the I can't, that's sure doom, ladies and gents. If you like my content, give me some love. I see some of you guys out there. I don't see my normal comments as I have. Hey Megan, thanks for joining. Hey Steve, thanks for joining, you guys. Very excited to see you guys here. I don't know. Anybody do gaming? Does anybody out there do gaming? It's fun. It's hard to get into at first, and my teenagers will tell you I was like the absolute worst to start with, but hey, persistence is key, right? And we got into gaming to start with is to connect with their kids and see what is this game that they're so interested in? What is this that they love so much? Why are they all in on this? Let's check it out just to make sure it's appropriate. And, then we fell in love with it. We're like, wow, this is super fun. I'm totally down with this. We could do this. And here we go. It's like 5 years now. So holla. And I have to say, I mean, I'm not like a build battle person, but I hold my own. I'm a pyramid girl. I throw some pyramids down, and it's like the game of it's like the game that of you have all the cups, and there's like the ball underneath, and somebody's like switching the balls all around, and you have to remember which cup had the ball under it. That's how I play with my I'm giving my secrets away now. That's how I play with my pyramids. I'll drop a bunch of pyramids, you gamers I know watching on Twitch. Drop all my pyramids, and then I'll hide in one, so then I have time to like heal up before I get into the before I have to get into a fight again. So I have time to heal up, and they're shooting at all the pyramids before they can find which one I'm in. Pro tip, y'all. Pro tip. But it keeps your mind thinking, It's like it's a constant circulation of defense and offense, almost like playing in any sport. It's defense and offense, and you're constantly trying to think, also like chess, like 5 steps ahead, and where you're going to go and how you're going to set up, and you're coming up with your teammates, and your teammates have to come up with a plan on how we're going to navigate the next team that we approach. And it's all strategy. It's just working, literally firing on all cylinders. I don't know how else to say it. It's amazing. It's so much fun, and it creates such good camaraderie if you have that spirit. It's usually the younger ones that will come in and just talk a bunch of smack, but you're just like, your mama lets you talk like that. You just like shut it down. I'm like, okay, kid, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you now, but enjoy the rest of your game. That's the beauty. You get to control the mute button in real time and mute some of these kids that can be toxic. But yeah, we don't play that game. But playing video games is actually very exciting and very intuitive and very it's like a fast game of chess. That's how I look at it. It's like a rapid speed. Your mind is thinking like so quickly on all the elements you have to do. You have to collect materials, you have to get guns, you have to have all these things, you have to have heals, you have to have all the things in play. And then you have to figure out, okay, I'm working with either a duo or even if you're working solo, or if you're working with a squad which has 4 people in it. Now you guys are all coming together to figure out a good game plan to reach it to the end. And that's the ultimate goal, to reach it to the end, where the crown is even better. But and then they're constantly throwing in. That's what I love about Fortnite. I'm just gonna go on a little tangent here. Fortnite's been so inventive because they brought in all these like celebrities that do these concerts, and then they draw. I mean, they're just so like what I call fashion forward, even though it's not fashion, but they're just so future forward when it comes to a video game. It's not just like a regular video game. Like there's legit like who was the last one that was Snoop Dogg or no Eminem? They came in to their like cartoon versions. They came in to the game and there was a concert and it was amazing. But it was like a virtual, a visual concert. But I mean, you could hear it. But I'm saying it was just like you couldn't go there in person. It's a digital concert on a game. But it was so cool the way that they come up with this like whole like visual melody of, just a really cool journey. It's really neat how they do it. It really is. And it's you think you have to sometimes be like, oh my gosh, I'm watching this is like in a video game. I'm playing a video game, but it's like a real concert to us in that moment, live concert with all these people from all around the world watching and in there as their little gaming characters. It's so cool, you guys. I mean, I know a lot of people hate on Fortnite, but those are usually people that are really good at other games. I'm just not. I'm sticking with the one that I know, and it keeps me active in the ways that I need to be. Like this says on the screen, like play games that make you think. That game makes me think. I'm using all right, left, frontal brain, like all my fingers. It literally looks like I'm just like constantly. Like it's impressive that it's doing something here on my game when I'm pushing all these buttons like this. It's fun. Well, you should try it. Get yourself an Xbox. I play on Xbox. I tried to play on PlayStation, but the buttons are different, so it really messed me up. So my muscle memory was all about the muscle memory on the Xbox. So when I try to play it on the PlayStation, it's like these numbers are a little different. I don't know. I don't even know why it messed me up because I shouldn't even pay attention to, and they're letters. I don't know why I said numbers. But, PlayStation looks really cool. It does. Like the whole build of it. But, all right, here we go. Continuing on.
To keep your brain sharp and engaged, do something that requires you to think. Board games, card games, video games, and puzzles are all good options. As a matter of fact, studies show that playing strategy-based games helps improve memory function.
I didn't see that part
That's
of this.
because they require you to think on the spot. And by giving your brain practice with this type of thinking process over time, you also improve your ability to deal with different scenarios in everyday life. Number 9. Increase mental intensity. The more you challenge yourself, the smarter you become. The key to doing this is to push yourself beyond what you think are your limits. Try picking up a new skill or studying a subject you're unfamiliar with for at least 30 minutes a day. You could also try entertaining a different thought pattern by reading self-help books or listening to podcasts about personal development. By doing these things on a regular basis, you will continue building neural pathways in your brain, which will ultimately increase your capacity for learning. Number 10. Take up a productive hobby. It's important to have interests outside of work, even if you're a busy professional. Hobbies are more than merely a way to fill your free time. They're creative outlets that keep your brain engaged, and they can even improve cognitive function. Whether it's writing, playing a musical instrument, painting, knitting, woodworking, or gardening, hobbies are essential for your mental health.
That is okay. I have to tell you, Maya, mother-in-law, who is in her latter, let's just say she's somewhere in her 70s. I went older. She's impressive though. I wish I need to clear it with her before I throw a rage out there. But she is nonstop energy. She is always working out, super flexible, so smart, so on top of things, all of that. And in her, she's refined in age. And she took up a new skill. She was like super creative, always a dancer, used to own a dance school. And then she's like, I think I want to take up necklace making. She started by making necklaces for my daughter when she had cancer. And she started making these cute little necklaces for her, beautiful necklaces. And then she was like, oh my gosh, I really love this. This is like, I'm talking about with crystals all the way around. Mary Lou's Treasures. You got to look it up. Mary Lou's Treasures. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Um, but she makes these necklaces that are so beautiful and so beautifully adorned because she just has such beautiful class and taste. And she has made like over 1,000 necklaces now. Now she has them in stores. I mean, you just never know where your little hobby, like she was just making them for Caroline because she loved doing it, and she's the only granddaughter she has. So she's like, all right, well, then she started saying, well, you know what, maybe I'll make some for adults, maybe I'll make some for my friends. And then she started making those. You just never know where your new skill might take you. And now she has her stuff in stores and she's selling it online, and people love it. She goes to and does shows, and here she is, like in her like third or fourth stage of life already. But that's going to keep her mind so sharp and keep her so young, spirited, and healthy, because it's stimulating that positive adrenaline, that good flow of energy, that space inside your heart that stimulates your mind, that stimulates your soul to be like, this is exciting. This is new. I'm excited about this new venture. And it gets you up in the mornings, right? You're not just slowly fading and dying away. So even if it's, you feel like you're later in your stage, or you don't even know if there's something that you like, just try it out. Just get a little kit of something, or just try and, I mean, there's people that do so many things. They get rocks outside and they do paint, they paint rocks, or they take rocks and they cement them to like a big board, like an old piece of wood they found, and they take rocks and they mix some cement to get the rocks on there, and they create these like beautiful like sculptures of things. I mean, you can literally let your mind go wild if you just take it there. Just give it a go. Just start messing around with something until you find something you like. Who knows? Who knows what that path of positive openness. So now you're creating a new pathway in your mind, a new neuro pathway that allows you to think a little bit more outside the box you were in. And now you got your creative juices flowing in a new realm. And now you're opening up all these new gateways in your mind. And that stimulates all that good dopamine that's going to be released, that gives you that feeling of euphoria and like you can fly. You know, it's the feeling that keeps you alive and keeps you thriving, and, you know, gives you that oomph in life. When you are you've lost that, or maybe you've never even had that because you never had somebody give you any kind of, you know, inspiration or motivation or courage to say you can do it. But you can do it. You gotta drop the T. You cannot use those words. You can't say can't. You can do it. You just gotta try. You just gotta look. There's so many videos too of people. Go onto Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, type in just random hobbies, people with random hobbies, and just look, and something on there you might be like, oh, I could do that. Oh, I want to try that. That's neat. That's new. That's cheap. That's stuff I can get outside. You know, like you never know. And those are the things that might just save your spirit and your soul from the mundane things that you have going on in your life. And who knows, it might take you down a new path. Oh, okay, I could see where I could get with an Etsy shop or Shopify and start selling this. People love art and supporting artists and supporting others to lift them up and give them a way, a good, another life, and you know, another outlet. I mean, you never know. You never know what you're capable of. I can't say it enough. You never know till you give it a go. It's just, it is true. Because if you don't try, what's that saying? 100% of the times that you don't try, you will fail, or you won't receive what it is you're after because you never tried. So of course you're not going to receive it. Just saying. You never know. And I would love to know, if you guys start a new hobby, what you got going on. I'm here to support you. I would totally throw it up here and support you and shout you out. You paint, you write songs and record. Yeah, you're a musician. You pretty much, if you're a musician, you are constantly working with that side, your right and left side of your brain. Like I told you, my son just started playing. He first started with bass. Now he's doing electric guitar. He has learned so many songs in like a month. he's only been playing for 2 months, but you would never know that because he is just so good and in tune, but he's so excited to learn a new thing. He's never had any lessons. He just all of a sudden was like, I want to play. He had his brother's old bass that his brother never used, given to him by his grandfather. And it started there. And he just picked it up one day and was like, you know what? I think he was grounded. I think that's where it was. I think he was grounded and he was bored because, kids can't operate without their phone these days. And he's always got friends over at the house. So he was just messing around. And now he legit has the bass. Now he's got a guitar now, or electric guitar. And now he got an acoustic guitar. And he's constantly like playing around, writing new music. And, it's right and left brain. Also, he started gaming super early. So he's really good at the right and left brain. You have to be able to right and left brain it. So it was real quick and easy for him to pick it up. So, and he's just good with music. He does play piano, so he's good with the sound. But a hobby something like that where you're ever changing, music is ever changing. You're constantly have new thoughts and inspiration and ideas on how it sounds or a new melody or a new catchphrase or something like that. You probably write poetry, stuff like that's your therapy is your music. It's a beautiful thing to have. And that's what my mother-in-law found in doing her beadwork with her necklaces. Even though some people might be like, oh my gosh, I can't with those little tiny beads and little strings, that would stress me out. And I can't do little tedious things. To each their own. That's what I'm saying. Go look and see what you can see. Go out there and give it a go and see what you find that you like. And then you can maybe discover a new talent that you love. So you never know till you give it a go. Just go look it up and go see what's out there. And even put in the strangest hobbies one can have or something. I don't know. Who knows? There's so many things. I literally can go onto Pinterest because I do hair and makeup too. I can literally go on there and be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to try that. I can't wait to try it. It stimulates my mind and thinking, oh, I get so excited about trying a new hair thing or trying a new, something that I see on there because it's like vision boards, right? Like digital vision boards that are constantly updating and changing in real time at any given time. There's something new and something fresh that's happening. So it's Pinterest. If you guys don't know about Pinterest, you need to get on Pinterest. I'm just saying, Pinterest is where it's at. I'm okay. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, so let's go back. Let's finish this one. We haven't even made it halfway through this video yet, but oh yeah, we did. Okay, we're halfway.
It can help you learn skills that will make you a more well-rounded person.
It says hobbies are essential for your mental well-being. Even if you're picking up a paintbrush, you don't have to paint pictures or people perfect or anything like that. You could just pick up a paintbrush and just start going at it. When our daughter was going through her chemotherapy, that's all she wanted to do was paint. She just wanted to paint. We would give her the big canvas paper and some paint, and that was her happy space. And I took those big paintings that she would make, and for one part of the thing is I took them and cut them all up into little pieces and made bookmarks for family and friends out of them. But I kept several of the ones that she made that were just I didn't want to touch. But some of it was just her just getting emotions out by color, you're just throwing it on the paper and letting it ride. It's stimulating and it's therapeutic. And who doesn't need both of those a little bit more bigger dose this day and age, right? Hey, Hal.
Knitting, woodworking, or gardening. Hobbies are essential for your mental health and can help you learn skills that will make you a more well-rounded person. They can also serve as a great way to meet people with similar interests, which can be helpful if you're looking to make new friends. Number 11, hang out with people who are smarter than you. This is a big one. It's easy to surround yourself with those that agree with your views or offer the same level of intelligence as yours. But if you want your brain to evolve into something greater and more complex, you need to learn from those who can teach you new things or show you another way of looking at an issue. When you surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, they'll challenge and inspire you. They will make you think critically about your own beliefs and actions, which can help you become more effective. Number 12, get some physical exercise. You already know that exercise is one of the best things you can do for your body and brain, which is why it's so important to make physical activity a habit in your life. In addition to helping improve your overall health and well-being, exercise helps improve blood flow to the brain. Consistent exercise also produces BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which helps with memory, learning, focus, concentration, and comprehension. As an added bonus, it also promotes better sleep. Number 13, set aside some quiet time. If you want to be smarter, it's important to take time to reflect on your days. Smart people learn from their experiences, so they don't make the same mistakes again and again. And by reflecting on your days, you can also start seeing patterns that might contribute to unhealthy habits or behaviors. This will help you become more self-aware and mindful of the way you think, act, and live. So there you have it. If you want to get smarter, try adding these habits into your life. If you already do some of these things, keep up the good work. And remember, it's not a...
Today we're talking all about habits, making and breaking various habits. Many people are thinking about New Year's resolutions. They're thinking about leaving some things behind and acquiring some new behaviors. I'm also going to spell out 2 specific types of habit formation and habit breaking programs. I'm going to boil these down to some very explicit steps that anyone can use.
I love that.
I think we can all appreciate the value of having habits. Habits organize our behavior into more or less reflexive action, so we don't have to think too much. And then, of course, habits can be more elaborate too. We can be in the habit of exercising at a particular time of day. We can be in the habit of eating certain foods. We can be in the habit of saying or not saying certain things. But of course, there are many habits that don't serve us well, or that perhaps even undermine our immediate and long-term health goals and psychological goals, and even some habits that can really undermine our overall life goals. So today we're going to talk about making, meaning forming, and breaking, meaning stopping various habits.
Anybody have some habits that you like to break? Maybe it's biting your nails, smoking cigarettes. Maybe you have a habit of just being in a bad mood all the time. What's a habit that you have that you would like to break in 2025? Anybody? People smarter than me, never met. Excuse me, Hal, you never met anyone smarter than you? That's an interesting statement you want to make. Is that the truth? You taught yourself guitar when you were 9, Bo? Nice. Wow. Somebody must have played for you to have access to a guitar. You paint, write, sound, record music. Yeah. Somebody had to have played that got you near a guitar, right? I think that there are so many bad habits, but there are also so many good habits one can have, like the new habit that we're starting in February. If you guys want to join in February 1st through the 28th, we are starting the habit of manifesting greatness in 2025 with gratitude. It's the daily morning gratitude ritual that is supposed to be the thing that gets you there. So I feel like this hair is turning into like a Janet Jackson mic or a Britney Spears, like I should start singing and dancing on the stage. So yeah, I think there are habits that we have that maybe we wish we didn't have, that we are having a struggle in breaking. So a good way to do that is by creating new ones. So let's just see, how do you do that? This guy, expert.
I want to spell out a
breaking.
particular system that I think could be very useful to most, if not all people, for how to build in habits and then to test whether or not those habits have really stuck. So basically what this involves is you set out to perform 6 new habits per day across the course of 21 days. Why 6 and why 21? Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. But the idea is you write down 6 things that you would like to do every day for 21 days. However, the expectation is that you'll only complete 4 to 5 of those each day. So built into this is a kind of permission to fail, but it's not failure, because it turns out that this approach to forming habits is based not so much on the specific habits that you're trying to form, but the habit of performing habits. It's the habit of doing a certain number of things per day. So 21 days, you list out 4 to 5 things. So it might be zone 2 cardio, resistance training, sunlight viewing, it could be journaling, it could be learning a language, mathematics. Again, this is going to vary.
So this sounds like the same kind of thing that we had talked about, the book that I brought it upstairs now. The book that we had spoken about that was given to me on the holiday that we're going to start on February 1st. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, the book called The Magic, which is written by the person who wrote The Secret, and it's all about manifesting literally anything you want in your life. You want whatever a new car, you want to have a house, you want to have a job, you want to have whatever it is, you want to go on a trip you've never been on, you want to go see Europe or whatever, you manifest that. And how you can manifest that is the Newton's law of attraction, the 1 of 1, which is like positivity, cutting that negative out, cutting those bad vibes out of your life, and being full submerged in gratitude in your daily life, and saying, I'm not going to engage in these negative things, because according to this whole infrastructure of how you manifest your greatness is if you say negative or you put negative out into the world, that cancels any positive thing that was headed your way. So every time you engage in that negative conversation or talking bad about something or bad about someone or bad about yourself, even people self-hate all the time. Those cancel out any of the positive things, any of the positive vibes and the positive actions that were headed your way, and they cancel those out. So it's really a 28-day dedication to creating these new habits of how to change up the patterns in your life, like how to literally weed out, cleanse out, almost like spring cleaning, right? You're doing a deep cleanse scrub on the energy around you in your house, in your space, wherever you go, that it follows you. All of that now you're taking that and wiping out all that negative energy and replacing it with the positive energy. And the positive energy is what brings in abundance. So we're going to try it. We're going to give it a go. It's supposed to be a 28-day process, but it's interesting what he's talking about is kind of similar, but his is a 20-day thing, and it's only 4. It's only 4 things that you're supposed to say gratitude for each day. But this one is a 28-day process. This is like 5 out of 5 stars by almost 200,000 people that have done this method. Like for me, I'm all about the averages and the numbers and the studies and the, show me the money. No, show me the paper. Show me on paper the studies of people actually trying this and it working or not working. Like I want to know that. Like I don't even buy a product without deep diving in. What are all these reviews? I go into the 1-star reviews, and are they all have the same kind of thing to say about it? Then that probably is something that will be broken on it. But you have to do your research. And for me, nothing stands truer than giving it a go myself. So it's 28 days. You write down 10 things that you're grateful for. You write it out in the evening, 10 things you're grateful for and why. So if you write, I'm grateful for a roof over my head because I don't have to worry about sleeping in the cold or whatever. You have to put the why, because why. And then after each one, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you move on to the next one. And it has to be 10 different ones each day. Thank you, Bo. That's so sweet. I just read your comment. Thank you. You write something different each day. For 28 days, you have to make it a pattern. You have to make it something that you are doing like religiously. You're getting up, you're making that happen. The night before you go to sleep, you're thinking about it to write it out. And then the next day you were going through the 10 things that you're showing gratitude right when you're waking up. So now you're starting a channel of positivity, of gratitude, of good energy, and that is to guide your day. Before you do all of that, though, you have to come with intention on what is it that you want out of 2025. What is it that your soul desires, your heart desires? Maybe that's something you haven't thought about in a really long time. Maybe that's something that's been pushed so far back you really have to do a little bit of soul searching and kind of dig in and like, what is it that you want? What is it that your heart desires? Past your regular needs, like maybe you need more a higher paying job. Maybe just be specific on what it is and then see yourself getting it. Be specific on what that is. I want to be the manager of this job. I want to start my own business doing car detailing. I want to, that kind of thing. I want to drive a brand new Mercedes coupe with a convertible top. I don't know. Whatever it is, be specific with it. Have that intent when you're going into it and then manifest. You have to see that in your life. You are living your best life. You are giving to charity. You are helping out. You are making a great example for your loved ones. You're able to send someone to college, or you're able to help out a family in need that's in your family. Now you can take care of your mother or father in a different way. I don't know, whatever the intention. I would say, for me, my own humble opinion, make sure there's something giving and kind in your manifestation. I feel like that is so important to add a little extra oomph to receiving good if you're putting out good. Yes, you're going to show all that gratitude, but also thinking about these things that you want in your future, how also can some of those things be helpful to those around you? Just my own 2 cents on that. I'm just thinking outside the box there. But, do what you will. Do what you will. But here we go. Let's continue on. We're getting the rest of this. This one isn't very long, but I like it.
Vary depending on your particular goals and the habits that you're trying to create. But no more than 6, and the expectation is that you're not going to perform more than 4 to 5. If you miss a day, meaning you don't perform 4 to 5 things, there is no punishment. And in fact, it's important that you don't actually try and do what in the literature is called a habit slip compensation, which is just fancy psychological language for if you screw up and you don't get all 4 or 5 in one day, you don't do 8 the next day in order to compensate. After 21 days, you stop engaging in this 21-day deliberate 4 to 5 things per day type schedule. And you simply go into autopilot. You ask yourself, how many of those particular habits that I was deliberately trying to learn in the previous 21 days are automatically incorporated into my schedule? How many of them am I naturally doing? In other words, every 21 days, you don't update and start adding new habits. You simply try and maintain the ones that you've built in that first 21 days. And this is extremely useful, I believe, because it will allow you to assess whether or not you can indeed make room, if you even have room, I should say, for more habits, right? Many people are trying to cram so many new behaviors into their nervous system that they don't stand a chance of learning all those behaviors. What you may find is that you kept up 2 of those things very consistently throughout the 21 days. And perhaps there was one of them that you did sporadically, and that there were 3 others that, frankly, you didn't manage to execute. You may also be one of these people, one of these mutants, that sets out to do 6 new things per day for 21 days and performs every single one of them. Terrific. More power to you. In that case, for the following 21 days, let's see whether or not you can continue to perform those very same 6 things every day for 21 days. And then, and only then, would you want to add more habits in. So you could repeat this 21-day process, 21 days of new habit, 21 days of testing those new habits as whether or not they're reflexive or not. You could do that forever if you wanted. But the idea is that this isn't something that you're doing all year long. It's that you, perhaps starting the new year, or regardless of when you're listening to this, you set out to make that 21-day really the stimulus period in which the habits get wired in. And then the following month, and maybe even the following months or periods of 21 days, are really the kind of thermometer or the test bed of how well you've embedded those particular habits.
Interesting.
Thus far, we've almost exclusively been discussing how to form habits. But what about breaking habits? Certainly.
I think that is like one of the things that this book is on about, is like creating a new positive habit forming scenario where you're retraining your mind instead of thinking so negatively. Maybe you're a pessimist, maybe you're like always seeing the glass half empty, but this is kind of like retraining your mind to think in a different way and think in a space where positivity is first and foremost rather than the other side of the coin, like waking up and feeling negative first or feeling the anguish first. You're able to wake up and feel happy and alive because now you're waking up and thinking about what you're grateful for and your life changes, right? Doesn't that make sense? Like if you're waking up and thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I get to wake up and open my eyes and see because I have two eyes and I've got vision. And I'm so grateful I don't have to wait for someone to pick me up out of the bed and put me in a wheelchair. Or even if you are in a wheelchair, maybe you're grateful that you get to speak out of your own mouth and not using, an operating voice. Like whatever it is, waking up with the gratitude, I can totally understand the mindset there. It's like, your life is going to be better because already, never mind the manifestation of things, but I think most of us are in a space where we don't wake up in that realm. You don't wake up with all the full gratitude of your life in the foremost front of your mind. You like, oh my gosh, I got a lot of stuff to do today. I got work, I got this, I got that. Like your list of things starts almost immediately. At least for me it does. So I can totally see where it already would improve just by the mindset changing. Because when you wake up with the gratitude, then you're in your happy space. It's a happy space to be in. So I can totally get the vision there on how that's something that is positive and inspiring to want to do and want to have, and it's free to do. That's the extra beauty part of it, is it's free to do that. It's free to wake up and think of gratitude first. It's free to be like, I'm gonna manifest all of these things. You're not spending an extra dime, but I'm gonna get the car that I've been wanting and I've been having myself. I'm gonna get that job that I've been wanting because I'm good at it and I know I'm gonna be great at doing that job. And you have to see yourself doing it. You have to actually envision that this is gonna be your life. So you're just doing the prep work right now. That's gonna be in your life. You can't say maybe or if or possibly. You have to get all that out and just be like, that's gonna happen. It's only a matter of when. And you're not doing anything different but changing the way that you start your day in that gratitude realm and waking up with those 10 things of gratitude each day, the next 28 days. We're going to start it now, February 1st through the 28th, because it's supposed to be done on 28 days. He's on his own thing. He's doing like this guy on the screen right now. He's doing his own. He's doing it. It's 21 day with 4 things of manifestation. But this book that sworn by hundreds of thousands of people that have gone through this process, that they have literally manifested everything that they had on their list that they wanted to do. To me, that's enough for me to be like, you know what? It's free. I can try it out. And all I need to do is commit 28 days to giving gratitude to the things in my life. 100% count me in. So if you guys do want to join, make sure you come back here. We're starting it on the 1st of February and we're going to take it all the way to the 28th. I would love to hear anybody that is going to join in and see what comes to fruition. And I don't know, I'm excited. It's different. I've always felt like I have pretty solid compassion and gratitude for things, but never have I done gratitude like this. I've never woken up with my day and started it with thinking about all my blessings, even if you have nothing to think about, like you feel like you have nothing. I'm sorry. Even if you feel like you have nothing, think about the simple things like your vision, your hands, all of your fingers. You know how hard it is to do something? I've like dislocated a finger. It's hard to do regular normal things without all of your fingers. Maybe you got all of your toes. You want to be grateful for that. You're grateful that you can breathe. You just have to write down what you're grateful for and the why. And at the end of each one, say thank you, thank you, thank you with intent. Like you have to really be grateful. You have to be able to, you can't put false energy out there, y'all. You can't be faking this energy. Your good energy is not to be, people will see right through it. And you're only hurting yourself. This is your world. This is your manifestation. You're not going to hurt anybody but you. So put it with good, solid, positive intent. Like let it be what it is to be. And let's see what flourishes. I'm so stoked about it. I really am. And the person who wrote the book, so the book is called the original book's called The Secret, but this is called The Magic. So it's like the magic in the secret. It's like the secret sauce, magic behind the secret sauce. This is literally talked about by people that have done it. And I've had my sister-in-law gave it to me, and she was talking about her own self who's fighting cancer, and they've had some like miraculously comeback since she started doing this. And her friend who has started this and literally manifested the $1 million that she had put on her intent. Like, people that have done it apparently are just like, you honestly, you can't explain it. You just have to do it. Like, you can't come up with like any kind of possible real answer other than, I don't understand. All I'm doing is showing gratitude, starting my day with gratitude, coming with intent, living my life in a different realm because I'm starting with gratitude. So it's making me more mindful and aware of engagement in the light. Like, everything I'm coming around now that there's that group of people that are constantly negative and always talking bad about people. Maybe you don't want to engage in that because you don't want to block your greatness that's coming your way. So now you're starting to navigate your own personal life in a little different manner. And it's only 28 days. So what's the harm? But you have to come with, you're ready for a change. You really want those things that you've been desiring for the last, whatever, year, 10 years, 20 years. I don't know. Things that you forgot, that even you older folks, us elders out there, and maybe even a little more past me, maybe there's something you were like, I always wanted to do this, but then I put it aside because I was with my career, or I was raising children, or whatever the case, and I put it on the back burner. And you know what? Why not? Why not have that in my life now? Now's the year for change, right? It's the year, it's a new year, it's a new time, it's a new era, and it's change that can happen for free and also just enrich your life in such a positive way that why would you not want to give it a go without having to spend an extra penny, an extra, like, go get any kind of extra things. I'm going to post the stuff in the book up for you guys. But if you wanted to buy, that would be it. If you wanted to get the book, you can download an audiobook. I think it was like 98 cents or something. Get the book if that's wants to be your investment, so you have it and you can go along on your own. And the book is called The Magic, and it's written by the same people who wrote The Secret. So if that many people, you look at reviews and there's like, you're astonished for 100,000 people to have 4.5 stars. This is 5 out of 5 stars by hundreds of thousands of people and you go through it and you can't read enough comments about like, whoa, like, I am a skeptic. I never would believe in this kind of thing, but I was like, lost my job, lost my house, lost my way, really needing something to pick me up. Like, that is like the common thread in these comments. And, you have to wonder, like, okay, well, what's this all about? So since it's 28 days and February has 28 days, I thought, what a good time for us to do it as a group. And, everybody obviously have your own intentions, and what is it that you're trying to manifest, and what are your gratitude things that you're going to write out in the evening so you can read it in the morning. So it makes sense though, right? Because now you're going to bed thinking about it. So it's on your mind and it's in your orbit, in your subconscious sleep, in your subconscious mind. So you're already manifesting in your sleep zone. And then you wake up fresh minded right there when you're still in that little sleep realm window. Is the first thing when you wake up. You grab your journal, roll over, and read those 10 things that you said you had the gratitude for and why. Say thank you, thank you, thank you for each one after each one, and then go about your day. And that's it. You're only investing that little bit of time at night when you're writing those gratitudes down. And then the morning, first thing when you wake up and you're reading it and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you after each one, then go about your day and then see how you're mindfully choosing something different throughout your day. Like the way that maybe you would have dove in on some kind of, I don't know, gossip talk. Maybe you backed up on that and see how you feel at the end of the day. See how starting with the gratitude, because it's all about awareness, right? You have to start paying attention to how are these new habits, these new things that you're starting and creating in your life, how are they actually affecting you in real time? So at the end of the day, let's just say, okay, You ignored Sally and Betty over there, who are always talking crap about everybody. You didn't engage today. You went about doing things a little bit more positive than normal. If somebody asked you, how's your day, or how are things going, instead of diving on that deep end of everything going wrong, you're like, you know what? Today I woke up and I was in a good mood and I'm having a productive day and I think today's going great. Instead of listing the millions of things that your negative side, that path that you already been on that you know is not taking you down where you want to be in life, and this is something you can change to get you to where you want to be in life, why not give it a go, right? It's just like, of course you're going to give it a go, right? Come on. And then at the end of the day, if you feel more crappy than you did before when you were just going to work and hating on work and talking bad about people at work or whatever you're engaging in, and then you get in traffic and then you're mad there and just like constantly mad. If you feel worse from starting your day with gratitude, not engaging in the drama, and maybe speaking positive instead of like going down that negative train, then this obviously isn't going to work for you. So, and then that's that. You tried it, you gave it a go, and now you know. So, but if you do feel better and you are like, what? I want you to come on here and tell me, okay? Share the love, share the good news, share the story, because that's what we're on about here. Behind the layers in my channel at Kara Chris TV, that's what we're trying to do, is helping you get your best life from the inside out for free. Any day you want to come on here for motivation or learn something new about the health, beauty, or fitness industry, this is your spot. So do make sure you do like, subscribe wherever platform you're watching, because it's going to be this way every single week, coming up with topics, showing you what's good, what's not, keeping you steer clear of the bad that's being sold to you out there that will actually tear you down, trying to always build you up, lift you up. Please join in on February 1st. What can it hurt, honestly? And if you know somebody else that is going down that road, or maybe they've been down that road for way too long, and you're like, this is not the road. I told you, you took a wrong turn, honey. You took a wrong turn. You need to flip one and get on back to the right side of the track. Maybe you know those people. Maybe you know several of those people. Share this podcast with them and let me speak to them, and let this podcast and the excitement about it speak to them. Something that maybe you don't feel comfortable saying, but share it with them and let's us all get on this journey together and see where does this road take us. I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. I'm excited. It's a new thing. And what is it going to take you? Like 5 minutes in your evening or 5 minutes in your morning, whatever the time it might take you, at least you're putting some thought into it. And now you can take the time from now until February 1st, actually the night before February 1st, because we have to start with your 10 things the night before. But you could take this time to really think about, what do you want to manifest? What is it that you really want? That trip, you need to take to Europe. You don't have to, and this is the thing, you don't have to put down the things that you need to make those things happen. Like, let's just say trip to Europe. You don't have to put, well, I need to manifest $3,500 so I can make it to that trip, and I'm going to do that by selling more of this or a side hustle with it. You don't have to put that. That's not how you're going to make, that's not your manifestation rule. You just put down, you're taking that trip to Europe. You're getting that promotion. You're getting that car you want. You're going to finally get in a house or an apartment and move out of your parents' place. Those things. You don't have to put the how to get there. What do you want? What do you want? Think about it. What do you want? You have until the 31st. Think about it. What do you want? And then we are going to manifest that crap. I'm telling you, we're going to manifest it, baby. You're going to be here. We're going to do it for 28 days. And we're going to talk about it every time I come on my podcast. We're going to talk about it. I want you to share too. Like, how's it going? Has it changed your life in any way? Have you been able to go home in a better mood to your kids, your family, your dogs, your whatever you got going on? Have you been able to sleep better at night because now you're not constantly boggled down by all the crap? And then if you really want to up your game, we're going to talk about through these podcasts how to do it with also stepping your game up with your physicality, meaning your eating. If you want to work a little bit into that eating zone, maybe you're feeling like, you know what, maybe I will start a little workout. We'll talk about that. I got plenty of workout videos on here for beginners. You like a chair workout because you're not real big into going to the gym, or you just starting out, or you got some ailments, you start with a chair, or you can be on your couch. I got workouts for any level, any age, any stage, whatever you got going on. I've worked with clients across the map. I'm telling you right now, some that couldn't even stand up out of a chair. So you can do it. If they can do it, you can do it. I have faith in you. You got to have faith in yourself. You got to come with that in mind. Your intentions are, I can and I will. Got to get rid of that doubt. No doubt is allowed. Don't even let them in the door. Don't let them peek. Don't let them even nothing. No invite. They're on the blacklist. All the doubt gets out. There's no doubt allowed. No doubt allowed in your mind in these points. You got to come with intention and say, I can and I will have these things I'm going to manifest, and I'm going to do that in this group manifestation where we are all going to do this together, and we're just going to share our stories and see. Doubt and fear do not. Stay clear. You guys, what? These are some good t-shirt ideas. Come on. Doubt and fear, stay clear. Do not have kids. That's how I'm constantly like getting things to set into their mind with little short rhymes and riddles. It's true though. You guys know. You know. When you feel confident and you're feeling it and you have been in that stage before, you're owning it and you're getting it. I see it. I want it. I bought it. What's Ariana Grande? That whole thing. Okay. That's going to be you. You got to feel it. You got to know it. And I don't want to hear any can'ts out there. And I don't want to hear I'm too old or no, you're not. If my mother-in-law, I need to bring her on here, and you can see, she can start this in her 70s and a whole new chapter, and from a hobby, from just something little thing, and now she's got a whole business behind it. That you don't start that from fear and doubt, right? Got to get it out. You start it by leading with gratitude and confidence that you are deserving, that you're worthy, and that you're going to have it. And that's that. Signed, sealed, delivered. Or as the kids say, period. Period. All right, let's finish this up and then I'm going to have to roll. How to change.
Many people out there would
habits.
like to break habits that they feel don't serve them well. One of the challenges in breaking habits is that many habits occur very, very quickly. And so there isn't an opportunity to intervene until the habit has already been initiated and in some cases completed. If a set of neurons is very electrically active, it's likely that over time, those neurons will communicate with themselves more easily because of changes in things like NMDA receptor activity, the recruitment of additional receptors, etc. It's essentially a cellular and molecular explanation for how something goes from unlearned to learned to reflexive. In order to identify a specific protocol that one could apply in order to break habits, how do you take two neurons that underlie a habit out of synchrony? How do you get them to fire asynchronously? This is pretty interesting with respect to the cellular molecular biology, but at the behavioral level, it's especially interesting. The way that one would do this is, let's say, for instance, you have a habit of picking up your phone mid-work session. Okay, that's a reflexive habit I think that most people have experienced. We often hear the idea that, the phone is so filled with access to dopamine and incredible things that we're just drawn to it. But if you notice what's happened with phone use over time, most people, including myself sometimes, I admit, find ourselves just looking at our phone or find ourselves in a particular app without actually having engaged in the conscious set of steps of, I'm really curious what's going on in this particular app. I'm really curious what's going on in this particular website. You just sort of find yourself doing it because the behavior of picking up your phone is sort of
How many people have done that, right? You feel like you buy, like there's a lull, if you will. There's a space where you're just like, okay, not to be too graphic, but like my teenager, he's like, I can't go to the bathroom without my phone because it almost like preoccupies the side of his brain that's thinking too hard about he's probably going to kill me for sharing this. But how many have been in that space where you just the downtime, you need to have some stimulation and you grab your phone for that stimulation? Because literally at any moment you can go on there and there's a new concept, thought, idea, what, like, so many people. Think about it. It's a vast open network where people can share their thoughts and ideas at rapid rates at any given moment, and like literally at any time. Like Vegas, it's 24/7. It's just like any kind of time that you wanted, any kind of stimulation. That's why they say if you do not want to keep your mind stimulated and you're trying to go to sleep, you should put your phone down for with at least an hour before you're going to sleep to get your mind space to calm down, because there's so much stimulation on there that you can literally just start firing all your cylinders like fireworks in there, and then it takes so long to calm it all back down and bring it back down. I think 45 minutes is what the doctors say to get your mind to settle back down after like a full surge of what happens when you hit those social media flips, right? When you're just flipping through and going through and new ideas and new thoughts before you could even really finish one of them, you're throwing 10 more your way because you're just flipping. I'm sure some of you I've seen flip past this and then you come back, like flip, see what else is out there, and then you come back to see what this is, and you're just like constantly up and down, up and down, up and down, almost like a stair climber, if you will. You're like going up fast and then you're bringing it back down and going up. Intervals. You're doing mind intervals. You're doing, for lack of better terms, you're doing mind intervals where you're just like constantly keeping it intrigued and movement, and you can literally come up with so many ideas and concepts when you pick up your phone and have so many new thoughts and ideas if you're looking at, but the only bad draw I see from it is that not completing a thought or not completing an idea, because literally you just move to the next one and that one didn't really even finish. You ever talk to someone and they're just like, they're speaking? I mean, I probably do it sometimes on here because I have so many thoughts, but I've always been like that, a curious cat. Like constantly, I have questions. I want to know answers. Like I got a million things scrolling in my mind because I'm curious of the world. So I'll come up with a thought and then I'm trying to say that thought and all these other thoughts are trying to come in at the same time, and they're just like forcing that. I'm like trying to stick to the first thought then get it all the way out before I let the next thought in. But sometimes it's just coming in at rapid speeds and I just can't control it. I can control it, but sometimes I just don't choose to. Back that up. I can control it, but sometimes I just choose not to. Sometimes the thought coming through is also very important to that matter, as long as I circle back. But you ever meet someone who talks like that and they're just like constantly moving from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and they never really you really were stuck to that one thing at the beginning, but then they never really circled back because they got on 14 other avenues? I feel like some may call that ADD, which it probably is, but I feel like, humble opinion, it's not the new way of social media and all of its journey down there is that you are feeding into that even more so when you're constantly scrolling and having new ideas and new thoughts, and oh, look at this one, and then there's that one, and then there's also different. Everything's so different, right? If you ever scroll through shorts, you're watching someone do like an epic fail on their skateboard, and then you're watching someone with a little cute little kitty cat, and then you're watching someone like help save someone out of a like burning house, and then you're still like, it's so all over the map on the emotions, right? So how can you not, if that's what you're looking at and that's how you're doing things and you're scrolling and that's the way of your mindset in your daily life, I'm trying to get this out in like a way that makes sense. That's how that's how you're feeding your mind and your mindset in your daily life. How could you not start thinking in short broken thoughts, right? Because you're just going from one thing to the next thing and the next thing, and nothing really comes out to a whole flourished full thought or a full completion. I feel like it's just a bunch of like they say when you start into this is how I'm going to explain it. That's why I cut myself off right there. It's like when you start into becoming a content creator, they say you have to engage your audience in 15 seconds or less. You have to be, anything that's coming out of your content has to be fully engaged. There's no character building. Like you have to come out the gate. If they're not in it on 15 seconds, then you're out. If there's not something that's intriguing about what you're doing, what you're saying, whatever, in the 15 seconds, and you're done. It's like a 15-second world is wild. If you're someone like me, you think 15 seconds, I can get so much done in 15 seconds. Like, I'm a person of efficiency and I get it done, and motivation. Like, efficiency and motivation, you put those together and stuff's getting done in 15 seconds. But when you think of it in a realm of like, oh my gosh, I have so much to say, I got so much that I want to put out there, I want like, oh, then you start thinking 15 seconds, that's like nothing, that's no time at all. But that's the way it is. That's just how our society is. So taking that time to take a break, to walk away from it, and just let some of those fast scrolling information, data, thoughts, ideas, and new wavelengths that have come through, take a little break and a little time to just breathe and let some of that stuff process and manifest. You got to let some of it process at some point in time. You've got to have a time in the day or a time that you set aside that is just time for you to process all the information that you had coming through and see what comes about of it. I know the times when I get alone where I'm not working or I'm not editing or I'm not looking up information or I'm not with my kids or I'm not cooking or I'm not cleaning or I'm not with my husband or we're not doing something outside of like that's scheduled on the books. When I have that time to sit and think and it's quiet and to process, it's usually either late at night or way too early in the morning for me to even be up. My brain doesn't even process that. I'm a moonlighter. So happens at night. It's quiet. And I cannot tell you how beautiful it is to let all those things that have been just like shoved in there and process what comes out of it. It's so amazing when you let your brain just have that downtime to process. It's almost like when we're doing the fasting and how beautiful your body responds when you stop putting all that food in it and you allow your body to process all the food you already gave it, how optimal your body starts to run, right? It's the same kind of thing. Oh my gosh. I just figured it out. I just came up with it. Okay, you ready? Ready for this? Follow me now. These little short social scrollings of your day is like snacking. It's just like constantly feeding your brain and it's feeding. It's good for your brain, but not in excess. Not when it's too much. When you don't take time away to start a hobby or read an actual book or do something, play music, painting. Those are these hobbies I'm talking about. Some of those hobbies might turn into an avenue for you to make money in your life. And then it's like you never worked a day in your life, right? They say if you're doing something you love and you're passionate, you never work a day in your life because you enjoy showing up and it doesn't feel like work. It can sometimes feel like work and feel daunting, but in the scheme of actual work that you do not like doing, you surely many of you have had a job where you don't like to do it. You got to be in that space, and you can't get to that space by constantly staying stimulated and overwhelmed with food and snacks. Same thing with your mental, with all the social, constant flipping through social, so like hours and hours. One of my teenagers said, oh, his friend was going to be devastated because she saw that she spent 17 hours a day on TikTok. I was like, what is that? But she barely sleeps. Like, wow, that is so much stimulation. And it made me think, like, what in the mind, what's happening with a brain that spends 17 hours on TikTok or flipping through, like you're constant flip, new idea, new thought, new idea, new thought, new idea, new thought, new idea. Like, it would drive me like short circuit in your brain, right? I feel like, I don't know, never done such a thing. Maybe I'll try it and see what happens, but you're a very smart lady. Aw, thanks, Bo. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm just trying to speak my truth. Humble opinion worth 2 cents. But I'm just throwing it out there in case there are other like-minded people that want to think in that realm and think, hey, Maybe I am feeding my brain too many snacks and I'm not giving it any time to process. When you don't give it that time to process, you're not really able to see the beauty of all of those wonderful thoughts and ideas and new concepts that have come your way. You never know what your brain can spit back out at you because you never given it a chance. No downtime. Same thing with your body. When you're constantly feeding it food and you're feeling lethargic and tired and exhausted and all the things, you're never giving it a chance to process all of that stuff, to be able to give back to you in the way that you need it to be able to be super healthy, super clear minded in a positive manner, not being moody, not being agitated, full energy. You're never giving it a chance to give you those things. Your body wants to give you those things. Those are natural things your body wants to do for you, but you never allow it to get there because you're constantly overwhelming it with all of these flipping through of the snacks and the calories and the carbs and the processed foods and all the stuff you got coming in on a constant rotation basis. So, February 1st, okay? We're going to make that commitment. Think about all the years and all the time you put into tearing your body and your system and your mind down, and all the space where you've self-doubt and hated on yourself and talked about the things that aren't great about you or in your life. Think about how long you've done that. And now say to yourself, self, I'm not going to let yourself talk to yourself. I don't even know how to say that. I'm not going to let you talk about yourself like that anymore. We're only going to say good things about ourselves. Even if you don't fully believe it to start with, the goal is that you're going to end up believing it. Okay? You're going to start seeing yourself better. You're going to start loving yourself, complimenting yourself in the mirror. Maybe you got beautiful eye color. Maybe you have beautiful teeth and beautiful nose. Something about you love. Pick it out. Give it love. Give it shine. And then move along. Something you love about your work. Because it could always be worse. You could have no job. So be grateful for the job you have to make money to pay your bills. Some type of gratitude instead of the way that you down everything and make it negative. That's going to be the start of our February 1st. And you're going to give it that 28 days, even if you have just get it through your mouth and your brain doesn't want to. You're overriding your brain and you're telling your brain what to do now. Your brain is not in control. Your mind and your spirit are taking over for your body and your mental. This is what we're doing for the 28 days. And we're going to do it every single day. And we're going to do it together. And we're going to share what our experiences are. When we get down with that, I'm down with that. I can't wait. I'm going to finish this video out and then I have to run because I got my daughter's doctor's appointment. I'm not going to miss that. So let's finish it up.
Reflexive, or has become fully reflexive. So the literature says there are a number of ways to break these sorts of habitual behaviors or reflexive behaviors. Most of those approaches involve establishing some sort of reward for not performing the activity, or some sort of punishment for performing the activity. The problem is when people are not being monitored for habit use. For instance, you can imagine a situation where you say, I'm not going to pick up my phone for the 4 hours in the early part of the day so that I can get, real dedicated focused work done. Unless someone's monitoring them, then people don't tend to monitor themselves completely enough that they punish themselves completely enough that they break the behavior.
Yeah, but then you're cheating yourself out of that opportunity. That's what I'm talking about. In February, you're not going to do that. In February is our month that we're going to make those big changes and those differences, right? In February, you are going to hold yourself accountable. If you said, I'm not going to touch my phone, well, make sure it's not during the time that my podcast is, okay? So podcast is normally at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you don't want to touch your phone, make sure it's in the very beginning of the day. Whatever the case is, I'm just messing around. Kind of. I really do want you to catch my podcast live. But whatever the case, making that time and sticking to it. Hold yourself accountable and actually put yourself in the punish box if you don't do it. And what's your punishment going to be? What is it? What, maybe an hour longer the next day without your phone? Like, what's your punishment going to be? You have to hold yourself accountable. Otherwise, what's the point? You have to hold yourself accountable and be like, you know what? I don't deserve another hour. I was gonna get on my phone tonight, and I don't deserve that time. So I'm gonna keep my phone out because I didn't keep my promise to me. You have to have yourself. You have to hold yourself at some degree of worth. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. Oh well, that's just who I am. I don't stick to things. No, that's not space. I've had clients like that, and it would drive me nuts, giving themselves the excuse that that's okay, that they're just quitters. That's me. I just quit things. No, that's not. I'm not gonna be like, oh, okay. No, that's not what's happening here. Because clients come to me because I'm gently motivating, which means I'm motivating, not gently. I'm motivating in a way that is not like putting someone down, or I'm lifting you up. When I'm motivating you and you're one of my clients and I'm saying, you got this. Stop saying you can't do it. You can do it. I'm right here. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. You could do it. That's how I lead with. I lead with that type of motivation and uplifting spirit. Not by saying, what are you, a dummy? You want to get out? No, I don't do that. I don't do that because a lot of people do start to feel like they are bad or this person if they're told that enough. Like when you're saying it to yourself, I'm not worthy. It's all right. I'm a quitter. I'm a loser. No, that's February when we're starting it. February 1st, you guys. You're going to be right here, and we're going to be talking positive things about yourself. And you're going to be talking about positive things about your day. You're not going to talk about those negative things. You've been talking about those for however many months, years, decades. You're done. You're done. Okay? You put your time in. You're done. Now you're going to be talking about, you know what? I put this new outfit on together, and I was looking cute today. You're not going to follow it up with, I mean, it could lose some LBs, but no, we're not following up with a negative thing. Then you cancel out that positive comment that you made about yourself. You're sticking to it and you're sticking through it, and we're not going to be playing that but game, okay? Not, oh, but no. You're going to say it, you're going to mean it, and you're going to show up for yourself, and that's going to be it. And that's how you're going to manifest your greatness, because you're going to start with your mindset and changing, you know what? I am proud of this. I am grateful for this. I do love this. Why do I keep talking about all the things I don't love? I do love this. Could be much worse. That's got to be your thing that blocks you in your mind when you start to go down that negative path. Things could be so much worse. And trust, they can. Think about anything that you got right now. Are you missing your eyeballs? Are you missing your arms and your legs? Are you missing your arms, your legs, both eyes, and you're deaf? Things can always be so much worse, right? So let's lead with that positive foot in the front and do not backstep it with the, but I could, but this could be. No, keeping it right foot, left foot, baby steps, baby steps. Remember, I'm all about that little molehill that's in front of you. All we gotta do is get to the top of that little hill. I'm not showing you we're climbing the mountain. We're just hitting those one little hill at a time, because at the end, when you're sitting there in your best light and you're like, oh my gosh, this is my life. I'm living this life. This is my body. This is my mind. This is how I'm feeling. This is the positivity that's coming through in my life. Like nothing can go wrong, knock on wood. But you're not, you're going to be like in such disbelief. And then you're going to be looking around and you're going to look down like, oh my gosh, I climbed that mountain and I didn't even realize. That's that journey you want to be on. And it's free, and you can start it with us together February 1st. I'm going to put everything up about it on my YouTube page at Kara Chris TV. You have to put the at symbol. It's really annoying. I don't know why. At Kara Chris TV. Get on there. I'm going to be posting up all the things. Also, I'm going to try and hit up it on X, which is Kara Chris Live. Kara C Live. Sorry. Kara C Live. On TikTok. What's up to my new TikTok fan? What's up? Kara Chris TV on TikTok. Instagram, Kara Chris TV. And Facebook is going to be Fit to Be Wild TV until they can finally let me back on Kara Chris TV. I don't know what's going on. They locked me out. Somebody hacked my account, locked me out, you guys. Still can't get in. But plenty of other avenues. YouTube is where it's always going to be at if you don't have any of those other things. Okay, we're going to start it. I'm going to post it all up what we're going to do every single day of February. But really, it comes down to manifesting what you want, saying it with conviction. I will have it. This will be it. Envision it. See it. It's already happening in your mind. You're going to will it. And I'm going to watch it. I'll watch you will it. And then you're going to talk about it because I want to hear about it. And so do other people. I'm telling you, sharing's caring. You got people out there that want to hear it. They need to know about it. They want to live it too. Don't be stingy. Don't be holding back. Share this podcast with them and let them join the journey February 1st with us. Okay, I promise we're going to get to the end of this video. He's talking about how to break the bad habits that you have that will help you work these good habits into your life. This is key information you're going to need to know because your bad habits are those things that make you wake up and think about, my life today. Think about, I got to go see so-and-so at work. Maybe you compliment that person that you don't normally like or you try to avoid. Be like, you know what? Your hair looks nice today. And then move along. People that normally expect a bad, negative comment out of your mouth, cheer it up. Smile and tell them something positive instead. Blow their minds and see the reaction. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel how it changes. It starts with you. It's free. You can do it. You can do it. Have faith.
In other words, the punishment isn't bad enough in order to break the habit, which just speaks to how powerful these habits are once they become reflexive. They're just very, very hard to override. So it turns out that the key is actually to take the period immediately following the bad habit execution, meaning, let's say you tell yourself you're not going to pick up your phone, you're not going to bite your nails, you're not going to reflexively walk to the refrigerator at a particular time of day, but you find yourself doing it anyway.
Snacking. Cut it out.
And what actually has to happen is bringing conscious awareness to the period immediately afterward, which I think most people recognize. They realize, I just did it again. And in that moment, capture the sequence of events, not that led to the bad habit execution, but actually to take advantage of the fact that the neurons that were responsible for generating that bad habit were active a moment ago, and to actually engage in a replacement behavior immediately afterward. Now, this is really interesting and I think powerful because I would have thought that you have to engage in a replacement behavior that truly replaces the bad habit behavior, right? That you would have to be able to identify your state of mind or the sequence of events leading into the bad habit, but rather the stage or the period immediately after the bad habit execution is a unique opportunity to insert a different type of what we would call adaptive behavior, but that could be any behavior that's not in line with the bad behavior. So let's give it an example. Let's say you find yourself, you're trying to do focused work, you pick up your phone, you're disappointing yourself for picking up your phone. You could, of course, just put it down and re-engage in the work behavior. But if you were good at that, then you probably wouldn't have done it in the first place. And so what turns out to be very effective is to go engage in some other positive habit. Now, this has two major effects. The first one is you start to link in time the execution of a bad behavior to this other good behavior. And in doing so, you start to recruit other neural circuits, other neurons that can start to somewhat dismantle the sequence of firing associated with the bad behavior. In other words, you start to create a kind of a double habit that starts with a bad habit and then ends with a good habit. And that seems to create enough of a temporal mismatch so that then recognizing when you're heading toward the bad habit becomes more apparent to you. So as I mentioned before, this might seem counterintuitive. You might think, why would I want to reward the execution of a bad habit with a good habit? I don't want to reward myself for the bad habit. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to change the nature of the neural circuits that are firing so that you can rewrite the script for that bad habit. What this does then is it changes the whole nature of the sequence of neurons that are firing from bad habit through to the end of this newly applied good habit.
So just like just creating a new lane, if you will, creating a new lane for those habits. Great information. You guys know I always put my videos on my YouTube channel at Kara Chris TV under podcast info vids. It's under my playlist. It's the very first playlist called podcast info vids. You guys can go there and watch that in full, watch any of these back in full, write down information you need to know. Make sure you hit that subscribe or that like button and follow and hit the notification bell. If you are on X, for those of you that have used the little rectangle symbol next to the notification bell to send tip. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And for those of you on TikTok who have been sending gifts, I really appreciate you there. If you're on this channel on YouTube, you can hit that right there to support the stream if you like the content. I'm very, very grateful for that. I really appreciate you being here. I do have to run today, and I will see you guys tomorrow at the normal time, 1 p.m. So I will see you 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed rest of your day. Don't forget to show some gratitude and some love. See you guys later. Bye. Thanks, Bo. Thanks, Hal. Thank you for all you guys that showed up today and for supporting